Can we finish with some very quick fire questions?
Yeah, easy.
Just fascinated. So the biggest achievement of your career to date, the thing you're most proud of, achievement? The game, the team, the trophy.
Obviously, caveat with getting married and stuff like that, and the birth of children, cover that off. Take them for granted, yeah.
Beating the Box in Pretoria by 50 and beating Australia the following week by 50 on the road when we were going through a World Cup bonus performance row with the executive, and that. The start of that tournament came off with the back of one camp where we evolved our attack. That was a special couple of weeks. Yeah.
Toughest moment of your career?
Toughest moment of my career? Toughest moment would have been the World Cup in 2003.
Yep.
It could have been 2019, but we didn't get it right in the final. So, it's those ones when you.
Did you feel you blew it in 03?
Yeah. I think if we got a chance against Tins and the boys, we would have been a different side to the one they had in Wellington.
Yeah.
They got in Wellington because we were pretty confident and growing a lot that year.
Yeah.
And I think attacking wise, we were.
Should have won it. I watched the summer test. I don't know how you didn't win that game.
Yeah,
that was And can you put your finger on why in that game it got away?
The Beaver got us in the breakdown, mate.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah, he
George
did.
Smith.
So we remember we played that sort of like
Sterling played
that
had the game
4-2
of his life as well, didn't he?
Yeah. I think Carlos shifted some ball off collapse small and just set. But the breakdown, Beaver Eddie did a good job. Who was the flanker? George Smith.
Yeah, George.
Yeah, great, in the middle, they slowed down the middle ruck. So we missed out on the edge attack a lot more. They done a good job in that. And I look back on it because we had Wales who
they played well in that game.
Did. They tested us properly.
We were watching that game.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting
that was your
final.
Yeah.
And that was 1 p.m. we got back, and then we had our old foes, the Box, who take a lot out of us mentally because it's like got to be done.
Yeah.
And we had a good performance, but then we had a short turnaround, and I didn't get the breakdown work right that week.
Amazing, isn't it?
What do you mean? Did you get you didn't pick where to target, or just the skill set?
I needed to liven up, mate.
Right. I was still a bit soft.
It was too soft. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Just I didn't give it a. I didn't give it a.
Why are you laughing?
Because I've never experienced it missing out.
Yeah. Just
mouth guards in.
Just remind you. Yeah.
And what you've referenced it already, but how long did it take you to get over the moving out of that All Black job?
Too long, mate.
Really?
Was it 203? 203. You've given me a memory. So, gone through all the hurdles of I reapplied, all that sort of stuff, just purely to hand over properly and stuff. But then I remember going to Test cricket, New Zealand, Pakistan, and took Daryl actually to Seddon Park there, and just as I'm sitting on the bank, we're just sitting down with a young fella, I can't remember what age he was. Anyway, I was sitting down and it goes, and the new All Black coach is, Graham Henry. And I looked at the young fella and I went, hey mate, it's time to go. So we'd only been there for 10 minutes. Back out. So he still remembers that. No, it was, I took too long. So when you think about it, 2007 in Nice in the sushi restaurant.
Yeah.
After watching, I think it was England, Australia. England beat Australia at Marseille.
That's right.
And sunburnt, nice bit of sushi, good bit of red wine. Then all of a sudden these emails and phone calls coming through going, no, you haven't got it right, John Mitchell. And then it took the attack to say, wake up, evolve, otherwise you ain't going to last in this game.
Yeah.
I love this game too much. I've been in it too long to not be able to be as good as I can be for the younger athlete.
Yeah, but it's only a game, as you say.
Yeah.
Jonah, Cullen, Carlos, and many others. Best player you've coached?
Best player I've coached, sure. Wow.
Ellie Kildun.
Yeah.
Scars.
It's a pretty hard call, but
Jones.
Should do men and women's one.
I think I think McCaw is probably the best I've come across. Professionally, David Pocock is probably not as tall and as elastic as McCaw.
Where do you sit on Dupont?
Oh, he's unbelievable. He's probably, of all the generations of nines that I've seen, he's like unbelievable.
Yeah.
I just love watching him. Martin Johnston's like, he was like, just, you go to war with him, like that kind of guy. Aaron Major was probably one of the best passers of the game that I've seen.
Memories of Jonah?
Yeah, Jonah. I never got the best of Jonah, sadly. I remember sitting down with his agent, Phil Kingsley Jones, before mid-season in Super Rugby, going, look, I need to have this meeting because I'm not sure whether I can take you to Britain at the end of the year because you're not the best winger, in the country, and something's not right because, the physical tests were way off the mark. You weren't expecting him to be brilliant with being a power athlete, but they were way off the mark and stuff like that. And it's almost like it wasn't getting disclosed to me as head coach how much he was degenerating through his illness.
Really?
And possibly people were overprotecting him because of his value and not looking after his health. So I got a tour to Argentina with him where I really enjoyed his company, got to know him, to understand his upbringing and stuff like that. So that was powerful. And then my lasting moments I'll share with you, Wales, 2002. He's not playing particularly well. He looks like he's got an element of HIA, which wasn't obviously the label back then.
Yeah.
So the medical team at halftime said, look, no, he's okay. I said, well, let's give him 10 minutes more. And he obviously didn't come through. So we took him out. It was the end of the tour that night. I was walking down the corridor to my room about 10 p.m. and I walked past and here was this, big man with the medical team vomiting. Like really poorly. So I go up to Macclesfield in Manchester to see friends and that, and I pick up a paper, and he's in Macclesfield Hospital. So I'm flying out the next night. So I drive about 18 miles, only 18 miles. So I go and see him, and here's this big guy, like 6'4" guy, like in wires hanging out of him, and that was his last Test match ever.
Really?
And I had also the privilege of playing in his All Black trial where he was selected that evening. And I still remember this young 18-year-old boy standing in the pub in Napier, bewildered that he'd become an All Black, couldn't quite comprehend, and was such a shy young man to when he became a proper adult. He was a wonderful being, but I don't think he was as managed as well as he could have been.
Yeah, the man who changed the game for sure. Would you ever go back into the men's game?
Never say never.
Never say never. When you retire, where will you settle?
Yeah, I live in Brookwood, not the most prettiest of streets.
Uruguay, we've decided.
Yeah, well, we'll get there. Half and half.
Yeah. I'm in. If you need assistant coach, I'm in there.
Treviso could be a good spot as well, I reckon.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but we've got a very inclusive street. So I've got a big South African brick braai out the side of my home or back of my home. My wife hands out the beers and the steaks through the window, but all my English mates call it the crematorium. So they see the smoke. They see the smoke coming out and everything. Oh, there goes the crematorium. So
yeah. So would you? Do you call this home now? Or
yeah, I do. This is home. I really enjoy England. I should never have left back in 2000. It's for some reason it's always just warms my heart. I just love. I'm a pub man, I like having a beer and I just love dressing up for the cold and I just love all the sport that goes on.
Yeah.
You got bloody managers at the top of the game, you got managers in the middle, you got guys fighting for their life and I just love the way that life goes about here.
Do you bounce off other coaches in other sports?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
Anyone interesting? Good advice?
Craig Bellamy in Rugby League. I know Sean Dice very well.
Yeah.
So that's more recent. And then I've got, I think the key, being an older bugger, is staying connected with younger coaches. I mean, like I'm connected with younger coaches now. and there's some really good younger coaches in the Premiership. I actually learn a lot off them.
Do you?
So Adam Powell at, say, for example, at Saracens, ring him up. What's challenging you in the game? If it's cool. Like to be able to have that two-way relationship. And I think if I continue to remain connected with younger coaches, I think I'll continue to get better.
Do you chat to Steve at all?
I have. Steve's visited.
Yep.
Training sessions and stuff. So yes, we do chat. Would I go out of my way socially and stuff? I mean, Steve's not that kind of bloke.
No.
But like when he's in a rugby space, I definitely do chat to him.
Yeah. Fascinating.